Hello darlings, welcome in the new year. In case you haven't seen my post with my wishes to all of you and all your families, I say again Happy New Year and all the best to you in the upcoming year. Lots of love, happiness, all the wishes come true and everything the best for you and your family. As well, also I want to thank you so much because together we reach another milestone for my channel. As I mentioned before in my previous videos, my channel is growing and I'm super happy about it. We just reached 3,000 subscribers and I'm really grateful for each and every one of you. For those who are watching, whether subscribed or not, however, if you haven't, I encourage you to subscribe to get notified about my upcoming content. And there's a lot of new topics, different topics, variety and mixture of topics that I haven't discussed before in this channel, so you would be more than welcome to join the fam. A couple of weeks ago I asked you on my YouTube channel as well as Instagram. What's wrong with my tongue today? I went to the dentist this morning and I had some things done and I still can't speak properly. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I asked you on Instagram and YouTube to tell me what are your assumptions about me, and I asked, you delivered, so now we can go through it together. Without further ado, let's get straight to the questions. The first one, my assumption is that you are not from a rich family but you work for everything yourself. That is 100% correct. I do not come from a rich family. Everything I own, I worked for it. I made crucial decisions in my life. I was not hesitant to take chances or risk. You know, everyone makes mistakes along the way, but the most important is to go forward. You know, whether it work out or not, you can always do something. You should continue growing and making another steps in order to keep improving your life in every field possible. So I made lots of risks, lots of steps in my life, in my career as well. If you don't know, I have master's degree in finance and I was working in a bank for many years, yet I decided to quit that job and I became flight attendant in the Middle East. If you want to hear that story, watch my previous video, I will link that. So yeah, I made lots of changes, but it all brought me to where I am now and I'm very happy about it, and everything I have, I worked for it and I earned money for it by myself, my apartment, all the possessions I have. So I'm very proud of myself, and yeah, that's a good feeling to whatever you're coming from, not rich family and nothing was really given to you on a silver platter, you still did it. You still did it. I think your hubby is lucky to have you. Well, he considered himself very lucky to have me, that's for sure. But also I consider myself very lucky to have him. We are both equally lucky to have found each other. So yeah, that goes both ways. My assumption about you is that you were working as a flight attendant in order to get a perfect groom. Well, that's not true, honestly. This is not true. I started working as a flight attendant for totally different reasons. My reason to start working as a flight attendant was not to find a man. I don't think you should really make steps in your life in order to find a man. I think finding a man should not be a goal itself, like, you know, making your life revolving around the subject. I think whether you are working on yourself and creating a best version of yourself and you are independent, and independent doesn't only mean financially, that also means mentally. So whether you reach that state, you will find the perfect man. Working as a flight attendant for many years in Middle East, I experienced lots of situations which are sad, to say the least, because lots of girls are there feeling lonely, and that creates some kind of desperation, and then they invest their all energy and free time in order to force finding a man. That means going to the clubs and in place where, I mean, of course there are exceptions from that rule. However, I don't think that it's a good way to find valuable relationship and a proper man. I always believe if you are going to club in the middle of the week partying, the right man that you are looking for would not be there, because the right one should be at home at the time, being responsible because he has a work to be done. from the very early morning the next day. So when you think that way, you will come to realization that this is not a place to look for a man. But anyway, I'm diverting from the subject right now. I can make the whole video about that topic because I have a lot to say, both based on my experience and watching so many girls' experience living in female-dominated environments. So let me know if you're interested in that subject, like what are my thoughts of how to find a man, what to do and what not to do, and you know, how to set criteria to find a man who's valuable and worthy investing your feelings in. You are considering starting your own business or freelance work. Yeah, honestly, that's true. You are correct. That would be perfect. As I said, I was working for many years in the environment, which is not typical office environment, 9-to-5 job. And there's nothing wrong with that because I did that for majority of my working career as well. That is just my choice, and that suits my personality better not to do that. As you might know, I already make money on YouTube and I intend to work on it as on my real job, not just only as a hobby as it was so far, but invest my time and energy and thoughts more into this as a project to deliver better content for you. And there are, as I said, lots of variety of different subjects are coming, so I hope you will like it. You are a soft person and an introvert. A soft person, I don't know what did that really supposed to mean. Yeah, I believe that even harsh things can be delivered wrapped up in a nice way of saying and with nice choice of words, so I'm trying to do it that way if I really have to. And I'm introvert? No, you could not be further from the truth. I'm extrovert, I always has been, I was never introvert. Yeah, that's it. You had a better place to get married than you would have if you hadn't been a flight attendant at that time. Well, better place, that is subjective thing. I love Poland and I think that Warsaw is one of the most beautiful cities in Europe, and that's not only my subjective opinion because that has been featured in lots of recent travel magazines with recommendations for destinations. I got my wedding in old town of Warsaw. The place was fabulous, glamorous, classy, beautiful. You can have a look at that if you haven't seen so far. I will link it down below, my wedding vlog and some vlogs from wedding preparations too. So I'm happy with the place I got married in. However, we were planning to have a destination wedding in the beginning. We already paid money for deposit and for wedding planner in Santorini. However, at that time I was still living in Abu Dhabi and my husband was, and he still is, living in UK, so it was quite difficult with my flying schedule, with changing the country's time zones, and we were totally on different spectrum of the world all the time. It was very difficult to organize wedding, even with the wedding planner, to organize the wedding in the place that none of us is permanently. So I quit my job, and then after I did quit my job, I moved to Poland and organized the whole wedding within 1 month, and that was better, saved me so much stress, and although we lost the money for deposit and wedding planner, it still was worth it because it was too much pressure unnecessarily, and yeah, saved me so much stress, as I said. You seem to be an elegant lady who has a clarity towards life and knows exactly which direction to go to. Well, first of all, thank you for the first part of that comment. And speaking of clarity, that's something that you can learn and that you gain over the years by doing things, by doing them both right and wrong, and seeing what works for you and what doesn't. I had, over the last 15 years, I gained lots of experience, I have to say. Sometimes I say that I lived life of 3 people at least, so that gave me lots of insights, and that also creates more clarity. However, honestly, no one knows what they are doing. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. I just try to do my best at any given point of time and situation, but whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, we'll see. So if you don't have this 100% of clarity of what you want to do at this very particular moment, whether it's work-wise, career, personal life, don't you worry. it will come. Just do something. Go choose a direction and go for it, and just test the waters. You have had Botox to look so young. Honestly, I love this question. I get it quite a lot. I was getting it frequently when I was still working as a flight attendant, and I heard that many times from lots of people. And I take it as a compliment, because that means I look so much younger than I am, and that makes people think that it's impossible, so I must have had something done. The answer to that is no, I never had Botox. The only things I had done was lip fillers, which was the last time was over 2 years ago, and I had my nose surgery, rhinoplasty, but that doesn't consider or classify as any skin rejuvenation treatment. So no, I never had any Botox. I just take care of my skin from the very young age, and I use SPF 50 all year round. I was always using SPF even on the plane. I never ever tan. I avoid sun as disease. I said that many times. You see, I'm very white. And I decided I will never ever tan anymore when I was 18. So that was a long time ago, and I think that a vast majority of aging process is sun and photo aging, and you can read tons of articles about it over internet. Sun is bad for you. I mean, it's good to gain some vitamin D, but to fry yourself on the beach like some girls do or used to do, it's wrong if you want to look young for the long time. So I have my friends who used to use all those tan beds. You know, tan beds used to be big thing in 2000. It was a good thing to look, I don't even want to use those words because they are not very flattering. So lots of people were doing that, and I see when I compare my friends who are the same age, what the difference it makes to your skin. So if you are in your 20s, do not tan, wear SPF, and that's what you will get. Also, I forgot to mention skincare. I'm a huge fan of Korean skincare routine, 10 or whatever step is. I think 10 step skincare routine, serums, moisturizers, masks, everything. I love that, so I'm doing that religiously for a very long time, and all that in combination, all those factors bring that effect. So never had Botox, but thank you. Your husband is very rich. This is a subjective statement again, because definition of rich would mean something different to each and every one of us. I would say, who's rich? Bill Gates is rich, Elon Musk is rich, those are rich people. So it's really difficult to classify. However, I must say my husband is quite wealthy. He's in a very good position and situation, so I can sleep in peace at night and I am calm. I don't have to worry for the future. That would be it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and most of all, thank you for responding to my request of telling me what your assumptions about me are. I hope your questions have been answered, and I just want to mention that soon I'm going to post a video which I'm working on right now. It's about top things I learned in my 20s. I encourage you to have a look at that, and hopefully it will help you this way or another, because I wish I had someone who would tell me these type of things in my 20s, so that would save me a lot of trouble. So you don't have to learn hard way, you can just listen somebody's experience, and hopefully that will save you some hassles. That would be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one.